It's a harsh truth that not everyone around us has our best interests at heart. In fact, some people delight in spreading harm and chaos. Imagine sharing your life with someone, trusting them deeply, only to realize they're the very source of your turmoil. Today, we're diving into a subject that is as eye-opening as it is essential: recognizing the signs that you're dealing with an evil person. In this video, we'll explore 10 signs that can help you identify these individuals before they cause irreversible damage. Guided by the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy, you'll learn how to protect your peace of mind and cultivate healthier relationships. Stoicism, a philosophy that has withstood the test of time, offers profound insights into human behavior. It teaches us that while we cannot control others, we can control our reactions to them. In this video, we will guide you through 10 critical signs that can help you identify individuals who may be harboring ill intentions. Recognizing these signs early can save you from potential heartache and mental anguish. We'll be drawing from the ancient teachings of the Stoics, blending them with modern understanding to provide a comprehensive approach to identifying and dealing with malevolent individuals. Whether it's in the workplace, within your social circle, or even in your own family, these individuals can cause significant emotional and psychological harm. But with the right knowledge and tools, you can navigate these interactions with wisdom and grace. Let's begin with the first sign, which is often the most deceptive of all. Number 1. Charming and charismatic at first, the kind that feels almost too good to be true. These individuals often come across as extraordinarily charming, making you feel like you've found a perfect friend, partner, or mentor. They have a way with words, a magnetic personality that draws you in and makes you feel special, valued, and understood. But as the Stoics wisely observed, appearances can be deceiving. Their charm is a tool, a carefully crafted facade designed to manipulate your emotions and gain your trust. They know exactly what to say and how to say it to make you feel like you've found someone truly special, someone who understands you better than anyone else. At first glance, they seem perfect, engaging, and deeply interested in your life. But this is where the danger lies. Over time, you might begin to notice subtle cracks in their facade. Perhaps they always need to be the center of attention, overshadowing others in social settings, or they might talk over you, interrupt you, or even subtly put you down in front of others. These behaviors aren't just quirks or signs of an extroverted personality. They are red flags. The Stoics teach us to observe with a clear mind, unclouded by the initial excitement of their charisma. Imagine being at a social gathering where this person is the life of the event, telling jokes and captivating the crowd. It feels great to be in their orbit, right? But as the evening progresses, you start to realize they're dominating every conversation, making everything about themselves. The Stoic principle of apatheia, a state of being undisturbed by external things, is crucial here. By staying emotionally balanced, you can see through their charming act and recognize the self-centered nature underneath. It's also important to note how they react when things don't go their way. A person who is genuinely kind and caring will handle disappointments and disagreements with grace and understanding. But someone who is merely playing a role to gain your trust might quickly become angry, defensive, or even vindictive. These reactions are telling. According to Stoic wisdom, such behaviors are clear indicators of a lack of virtuous character. Number 2. Lack of empathy. These individuals seem completely detached from the feelings of others. They might brush off your concerns or mock your vulnerability. The Stoics believed in the interconnectedness of humanity and the importance of compassion. When someone shows no concern for the feelings of others, it's a serious red flag. Imagine sharing something deeply personal with someone you consider a friend, hoping for comfort or understanding, only to have your feelings dismissed, or worse, mocked. This lack of empathy doesn't just reveal itself in their inability to support you in tough times, it's also evident in their failure to celebrate your successes or share in your joy. A person who lacks empathy won't cheer for your achievements. Instead, they might undermine them, downplay them, or even take credit for them. This behavior is not just limited to personal relationships. Consider a boss who pushes their employees to the brink, showing no concern for their well-being, demanding long hours without fair compensation, or publicly criticizing them in a way that's meant to humiliate rather than constructively guide. Such a lack of empathy creates a toxic environment where people feel undervalued and stressed. The Stoics would advise us to maintain our inner peace and integrity in such situations, recognizing that the lack of empathy in others is a reflection of their character, not ours. Furthermore, a lack of empathy can lead to more sinister behaviors. People who cannot empathize with others may engage in actions that are outright cruel, without any sense of guilt or remorse. They might lie, cheat, or even inflict harm without a second thought about the pain they're causing. The Stoic philosopher Seneca emphasized the importance of kindness and justice, teaching that our actions should always reflect our inner virtue. When someone lacks empathy, they're fundamentally disconnected from these values. A lack of empathy is also evident in smaller, everyday interactions. You might notice that someone constantly interrupts conversations to talk about themselves, shows little interest in what others have to say, or fails to offer help when it's clearly needed. These might seem like minor annoyances at first, but they add up to a pattern of behavior that reveals a deeper issue. The Stoics would remind us to be observant and discerning, understanding that these small signs are indicative of a person's true character. Number 3. Manipulation. Manipulation is another hallmark of an evil person. These people use deceit and cunning tactics to control or influence you. Gaslighting, where the manipulator tries to make you doubt your own reality, is a common tool. The Stoics valued clarity of thought and the ability to see things as they truly are. They taught that our perceptions should be grounded in reality and that we should remain steadfast in our principles, no matter the external pressures. When someone manipulates you, they are attempting to cloud your perception and distort reality, making it difficult for you to stay true to these Stoic ideals. A common form of manipulation is gaslighting, where the manipulator tries to make you doubt your own memory, perception, or sanity. They might deny that certain events happened, or they might twist your words and actions to make you feel at fault. For example, let's say you confront a friend about something hurtful they said. Instead of acknowledging it, they might turn the tables, accusing you of being overly sensitive or misremembering the situation. This can erode your confidence and make you reliant on the manipulator's version of reality. Manipulators are also adept at playing the victim. They might guilt-trip you into doing things you don't want to do by making you feel responsible for their happiness or well-being. You might have a friend who constantly complains about their problems, expecting you to drop everything to help them, yet they are never there for you in return. They might say things like, "If you were really my friend, you'd do this for me," making you feel obligated to comply. The Stoics, especially Epictetus, emphasize the importance of understanding what is within our control and what is not. We cannot control others' actions or emotions, only our response to them. Consider how a manipulator might use flattery or charm to get their way. At first, this can feel great. They might shower you with compliments and make you feel special, but over time, you might notice that their praise comes with strings attached. They might compliment you when they want something from you, or when they need you to do something for them. This can make you feel like you owe them, or that you need to live up to their expectations to maintain their approval. The Stoics would remind us that true virtue and self-worth come from within, not from the fleeting approval of others. Manipulation can also take the form of isolation. A manipulative person might try to cut you off from your friends and family, making you more dependent on them. They might say things like, "Your friends don't really care about you," or "Your family doesn't understand you like I do." This tactic makes it easier for them to control you because you become more reliant on them for support and validation. Number 4, lack of integrity. A lack of integrity, such as constant lying, is a clear sign of an evil person. These individuals twist reality to suit their needs, leaving you in a web of deceit. Pathological lying goes beyond the occasional white lie that most people tell. Pathological liars deceive constantly, often without any apparent reason. They fabricate stories, manipulate facts, and distort reality to suit their own needs or to gain an advantage over others. This behavior can be incredibly damaging to relationships, eroding trust, and creating a web of deceit that's difficult to untangle. The Stoics valued truth and integrity above all else. They believed that a virtuous life was grounded in honesty and that deceit was a fundamental betrayal of one's character. Marcus Aurelius emphasized living in accordance with nature, which means aligning our actions with truth and reason. When someone lies pathologically, they are living in direct opposition to these principles, creating a false reality that benefits only themselves. Pathological lying can take many forms. It might start with small, seemingly harmless lies, like embellishing a story to make themselves look better or more interesting. Over time, these lies can escalate, covering up mistakes or wrongdoings and manipulating others to achieve their goals. A pathological liar might claim to have accomplished things they haven't, falsely take credit for others' work, or make up stories about their past to gain sympathy or admiration. This constant dishonesty creates a distorted view of reality where you can never be sure what's true and what's fabricated. Consider how a pathological liar might operate in a workplace. They might lie about their qualifications, exaggerate their contributions to projects, or spread false rumors about colleagues to sabotage them. This can create a toxic environment where trust is undermined and people are constantly on edge, unsure of who to believe. The Stoics would advise us to remain steadfast in our own integrity, not allowing ourselves to be swayed by the deceitful actions of others. Epictetus taught that we should focus on what we can control, our own thoughts and actions, and not be disturbed by the dishonesty of those around us. In personal relationships, pathological lying can be even more destructive. Imagine being in a relationship with someone who constantly lies about their whereabouts, their past, or their feelings. This behavior can make you feel insecure, anxious, and constantly questioning your own perceptions. You might find yourself doubting your memory or second-guessing your instincts, which is exactly what the liar wants. They thrive on creating confusion and instability, keeping you off balance so they can maintain control. Number 5, controlling behavior. Controlling behavior is another major red flag. Whether it's in relationships or friendships, these individuals seek to dominate every aspect of your life, leaving little room for your own autonomy and decisions. Controlling individuals often disguise their behavior as concern or care, but underneath, it's about power and control. The Stoics, who valued personal freedom and self-control, would see this behavior as fundamentally opposed to living a virtuous life. Controlling behavior can manifest in many ways. For instance, you might have a friend who insists on always choosing where you go and what you do together. While it might seem harmless at first, over time, you start to realize that your preferences and opinions are consistently ignored or overridden. They might say things like, "I know what's best for us," or "You'll have more fun if you just listen to me." This isn't about mutual decision-making, it's about one person exerting their will over another. In relationships, controlling behavior can become even more dangerous. A partner might monitor your whereabouts, demand constant updates on your activities, and even dictate who you can and cannot see. They might go through your phone, check your messages, or insist on knowing all your passwords. This kind of surveillance and micromanagement can make you feel trapped and anxious, constantly walking on eggshells to avoid conflict. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, emphasize the importance of maintaining your own inner freedom and autonomy, regardless of external pressures. Control can also come in the form of financial manipulation. A controlling partner or family member might take charge of all financial decisions, doling out money as they see fit, and keeping you financially dependent on them. They might say, "I handle the money because you're not good with finances," or "It's easier if I just take care of everything." This can strip you of your financial independence and make it difficult to leave the relationship or assert your own choices. The Stoics believed in self-sufficiency and managing your own resources wisely, viewing financial control as a form of enslavement that must be resisted. Another way controlling behavior shows up is through isolation. A controlling person might try to cut you off from friends and family, claiming that they're the only one who truly understands you or cares about you. They might criticize your loved ones, saying things like, "Your friends don't really care about you," or "Your family is toxic." Over time, you might find yourself increasingly isolated, relying solely on the controlling person for support and companionship. The Stoics recognize the importance of community and supportive relationships, seeing isolation as detrimental to both personal growth and well-being. Controlling individuals also often use threats and intimidation to maintain their power. They might threaten to leave you, harm themselves, or even hurt you if you don't comply with their demands. This creates an environment of fear and anxiety, making it difficult to think clearly or make decisions that are best for you. Number 6. Isolation. Isolation is a common tactic used by these individuals. They may try to cut you off from friends and family, making you more dependent on them. The Stoics recognized the importance of community and supportive relationships, warning against those who seek to isolate you. Over time, you might find yourself increasingly isolated, relying solely on the controlling person for support and companionship. Isolation goes against Stoic principles, as it weakens our support network and makes us more vulnerable to manipulation. Financial manipulation is another tactic used by evil people. They might borrow money and never repay it, or they might control your finances to limit your independence. For instance, a partner might insist on managing all the money in the relationship, making you ask for permission to spend anything. This control over finances can make it difficult for you to leave the relationship or assert your independence. The Stoics would encourage us to seek self-sufficiency and independence, ensuring that we are not unduly influenced or controlled by others. Recognizing manipulation for what it is can be challenging, especially when you care about the person involved. The Stoics teach us to be vigilant and discerning, to see things clearly, and to act with integrity. If you suspect someone is manipulating you, take a step back and assess the situation objectively. Are they consistently prioritizing their needs over yours? Do they make you feel guilty or unsure of yourself? Are they trying to control aspects of your life or isolate you from others? It's important to set firm boundaries with manipulators and stand your ground. Communicate clearly and assertively about what you will and will not tolerate. Remember, you have the right to your own thoughts, feelings, and actions. The Stoics remind us that while we cannot control how others behave, we can control how we respond. By maintaining our inner strength and clarity, we can protect ourselves from the harmful effects of manipulation and stay true to our values. Number 7. Pathological lying. Another unmistakable sign of an evil person is pathological lying. This goes beyond the occasional white lie that most people tell. Pathological liars deceive constantly, often without any apparent reason. They fabricate stories, manipulate facts, and distort reality to suit their own needs or to gain an advantage over others. This behavior can be incredibly damaging to relationships, eroding trust and creating a web of deceit that's difficult to untangle. The Stoics valued truth and integrity above all else. They believed that a virtuous life was grounded in honesty and that deceit was a fundamental betrayal of one's character. Marcus Aurelius emphasized living in accordance with nature, which means aligning our actions with truth and reason. When someone lies pathologically, they are living in direct opposition to these principles, creating a false reality that benefits only themselves. Pathological lying can take many forms. It might start with small, seemingly harmless lies, like embellishing a story to make themselves look better or more interesting. Over time, these lies can escalate, covering up mistakes or wrongdoings and manipulating others to achieve their goals. A pathological liar might claim to have accomplished things they haven't, falsely take credit for others' work, or make up stories about their past to gain sympathy or admiration. This constant dishonesty creates a distorted view of reality where you can never be sure what's true and what's fabricated. Consider how a pathological liar might operate in a workplace. They might lie about their qualifications, exaggerate their contributions to projects, or spread false rumors about colleagues to sabotage them. This can create a toxic environment where trust is undermined and people are constantly on edge, unsure of who to believe. The Stoics would advise us to remain steadfast in our own integrity, not allowing ourselves to be swayed by the deceitful actions of others. Epictetus taught that we should focus on what we can control, our own thoughts and actions, and not be disturbed by the dishonesty of those around us. In personal relationships, pathological lying can be even more destructive. Imagine being in a relationship with someone who constantly lies about their whereabouts, their past, or their feelings. This behavior can make you feel insecure, anxious, and constantly questioning your own perceptions. You might find yourself doubting your memory or second-guessing your instincts, which is exactly what the liar wants. They thrive on creating confusion and instability, keeping you off balance so they can maintain control. The Stoics would remind us to trust our own judgment and not be swayed by the manipulations of others. Seneca taught that true peace comes from within and that we should not allow the deceit of others to disturb our inner tranquility. Number 8. Undermines your self-confidence. Another clear sign of an evil person is their tendency to undermine your self-confidence. These individuals often engage in subtle but persistent actions that chip away at your sense of self-worth. They might criticize you under the guise of helping you improve or offer backhanded compliments that leave you doubting yourself. This behavior isn't always obvious at first. It can start small, with comments that seem well-intentioned but slowly build into a pattern of undermining your confidence. Over time, you might find yourself questioning your abilities, your decisions, and even your worth. The Stoics taught that our sense of self-worth should come from within, grounded in our own principles and virtues, not in the opinions of others. When someone repeatedly makes you feel small or inadequate, it's a sign that they're attempting to control you by weakening your self-esteem. This kind of emotional manipulation can be incredibly destructive, leading to self-doubt, anxiety, and a loss of confidence. It's essential to recognize this behavior early and understand that it's not a reflection of your abilities or worth, but rather a tactic used by the other person to assert control and dominance. The Stoics would advise you to stand firm in our self-assessment, to trust in our own virtues, and not allow the negative influence of others to erode our confidence. Remember, your value is not determined by how others see you, but by how you see yourself and live according to your own principles. By staying true to your inner virtues, you can protect yourself from the harmful effects of those who seek to undermine your confidence. Number 9. Lack remorse. A lack of remorse is another clear indicator of an evil person. These individuals may cause harm without guilt or regret, simply moving on as if nothing happened. The Stoics emphasized the importance of living a life guided by reason and virtue, and those who lack remorse clearly stray from this path. Imagine confronting someone about their hurtful actions, only for them to shrug it off and move on, without any sense of guilt or responsibility. This kind of behavior can be deeply hurtful and confusing, especially if you care about the person involved. The Stoics would remind us that such behavior is a reflection of the other person's character, not ours. It's important to recognize this and not internalize their lack of remorse as a reflection of your own worth. The Stoics teach us that our worth is not determined by how others treat us, but by how we conduct ourselves. If someone lacks remorse for their actions, it's a clear sign that they do not align with Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. It's crucial to protect yourself from such individuals, as their lack of remorse can lead to repeated harm. The Stoics would advise us to remain steadfast in our own principles, not allowing the actions of others to disturb our inner peace. By maintaining our own sense of virtue and integrity, we can protect ourselves from the toxic influence of those who lack remorse. Number 10. Provoking and creating conflicts. Lastly, beware of those who seek to provoke and create conflict. They thrive on chaos and often go out of their way to stir up trouble. The Stoics remind us to maintain our inner peace, even in the face of such provocation. Those who deliberately create conflict often do so to exert control or to distract from their own shortcomings. By keeping others off balance, they maintain a sense of power. But as the Stoics teach us, true power comes from within, from a calm, centered mind that is not easily swayed by external chaos. If you find yourself dealing with someone who constantly provokes, it's important to remain calm and not engage in their games. The Stoics teach us that we cannot control the actions of others, but we can control our own reactions. By refusing to be drawn into their conflicts, you maintain your own peace of mind and integrity. The Stoics would remind us to focus on what we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and responses, and not be disturbed by the chaos others create. By recognizing these signs and responding with wisdom and clarity, you can protect yourself from those who seek to harm you and live a more fulfilling, peaceful life. Now that you're equipped with the knowledge to recognize these signs, it's time to take action. Protect your peace, cultivate wisdom, and remember the teachings of the Stoics. By staying true to your values and maintaining your inner strength, you can navigate even the most challenging interactions with grace and clarity. If you found this video helpful, hit the subscribe button and check out more content on Stoicism and personal development. Remember, your peace and integrity are worth protecting, no matter who tries to undermine them. Setting boundaries is not just a defense mechanism, it's a declaration of your self-worth and commitment to living a virtuous life. Thank you for joining me today and being a part of this journey into Stoic wisdom. Stay strong, stay wise, and keep living your truth.